It's time to wake up San Gabriel Valley with CCN Sunrise.
Good morning, everyone, and glad to have you on CCN Sunrise with us today. We have a great show planned for you. We will have some fantastic guests, and we also have a fantastic co-host with us today. We have Michael Calderon, also known as Mr. Pasadena.
So
you'll have to tell us later about how you got that tag.
Thank you so much.
We also have the Morning Buzz with Kimberlin Brown. We're going to discuss our 45th president. And she was a Trump supporter, a businesswoman, still is a businesswoman, and a well-known actress.
We'll also have Stephanie Wiltz with us. She has an event design company, so we'll talk about her business and what she does and all the great stuff she's going to show us too.
Really fantastic. Very talented woman, actually, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yes, very exciting.
Up next, before we go any further, let's thank our sponsors.
Crown City News is sponsored by Foothill Transit, San Gabriel Valley Economic Partnership, Pasadena Federal Credit Union, EH Financial, Ganal Lumber, Siren Arts Productions. Thank you for your support of Crown City News.
We have really great sponsors like NGOT Global Consultants. Sponsor us and we will promote you on the show too. Now for the Morning Buzz. You may have heard that Donald Trump, did you know his middle name is John? So it's the J that we hear is John, is the 45th president of the United States. And some are very happy and some are very unhappy folks and protesting his presidency.
With us to unpack all of this is Kimberlin Brown, Trump supporter, businesswoman, and actress. And you were on All My Children, correct? And tell me about some of the other wonderful shows that you've been on.
Well, I'm actually best known for my work on Young and the Restless and Bold and the Beautiful. And All My Children was the last show that I did. But yeah, probably best for those other two shows.
Great. But you also became known as a supporter for Trump, and you spoke, it was kind of last minute or kind of a surprise to you really to know that Trump wanted to have you involved in the in his election on some level. So why don't you share a little bit about that too?
Right. Well, you know, the one thing with acting is you never really know when your career is going to end. So I took my money and I put it to work for me, and I have several businesses in San Diego.
Okay.
I employ over 170 people. And I was at an event speaking to a group of women in business that were interested in supporting Trump, but we wanted to hear what he had to say. And he was running late to the event, and I got up to speak. Several of us got up to speak. And they started vetting me from that moment on. Mm-hmm. I guess they vetted me for probably over a month. And then they called me the week before the GOP convention, and then told me I had to write my own speech. So I was like, wow, okay. So I was thrilled to do it, actually, because it gave me a place to actually voice concerns that weren't just my own.
Right.
I spoke for millions of people who felt that they didn't have a voice. So I was pleased to be given that opportunity.
So tell us more about your thoughts on him now winning the presidency, and what do you see him doing moving forward? What are you hoping he may do in his first 100 days?
Well, I'm hoping he repeals Obamacare. That's one of the biggest problems that I have at work with my young employees. And you know, the whole campaign season was very tabloid-esque at best. It focused on, you know, he said, she said, versus what the people really wanted to hear. Mm-hmm. They wanted to hear about policy, what could be done to fix certain regulations and problems that are very real and evident in everyday business life in America. And I had the opportunity to actually hear what Donald wanted to do. Obamacare is killing small business.
Yeah, no, you are a business owner. You mentioned how many businesses you own.
I am.
Did you need to let go of any people based on the increasing costs because of healthcare? I mean, there's so many strangulating regulations, and it's actually hard to keep track. It's my understanding that people actually have to bring in specialists to kind of monitor the hours or monitor. It's not just the number of employees.
No,
the
see,
number
it's
of hours
it's
that
the
you have for your
executive
employees.
orders that were also tagged on to Obamacare.
Okay.
I mean, to think that you're helping somebody by creating a 30-hour work week, that's not helping anyone. You're making it so that employers don't allow their employees to go beyond that 30-hour week.
Because they're
So
trying to-
now instead of someone having a common 40-hour work week, they have to get 2 jobs to even survive. And that was never intended with this bill. It's like I said before, you know, I believe that all of these things are done with the best of intentions. Nobody is going to implement things that are going to purposely hurt any of us. But being a small business owner, if I implement something that I think is going to be better for my company, and then realize it's not,
Right.
and I can see the dollar line items just decreasing and costs going up, as a business owner, I have to reevaluate what I did to make it right so that my business continues to thrive. The government needs to do the same thing. If it's not working, I know you love it, I know you think it's wonderful because you came up with it, but it's not working, so you need to fix it. Donald's going to do that.
As well as moving forward with repealing Obamacare, going forward, he has an incredible task of bringing America back together again. What do you think he's going to do going forward in the next 90 days to bring us all back together?
Well, you know, that's an interesting thing to talk about as well, because during the entire election season, all the hate speech,
Right.
everything that was brought out, you know, homophobic,
Xenophobic. Everything you just said.
xenophobic,
Name it, all
exactly,
of them.
racist, all of it didn't come from the conservative side of the ticket. Those are all talking points that are put out there by the media to create a divide.
Right. And more recently, they've actually had statements that are really similar to some of the things when other Republicans have come into office, such as when Reagan came in, and I can't remember who quoted this, but it's like, we're going to have an increase in the KKK.
Oh
So
my gosh, I
the,
know.
the fear base, I
Yeah.
think, is
Yeah.
really important to
But it's also
to
people that are
squash, too.
uneducated, because
Absolutely.
the KKK was actually started by the Democrats, not by the Republicans. But people don't learn history anymore in
Right.
school either.
Will you join us for another segment, and we'll talk a little bit about the businesses that you have and
Oh,
a
I'd
little
love
bit about
to.
your background?
Yes.
That
I'd love
sounds-
to.
That sounds fantastic. Up next, we will have a second segment with Kimberlin Brown.